Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to our bold analysis. If you're a subscriber in this channel, I want to request you kindly, if you're from Kisumu or Homa Bay and you attended an Kenya Kwanza Economic Forum there, kindly share a photo with me in my WhatsApp number that is here in the description part, because we really want to fact check. There is this emerging statement from Deputy President that the day they were holding, the way he was allegedly stoned in Kisumu, he was holding an economic forum in Ciala Resort. He mentioned about it, and this is what you're saying.
There. Number two, let me also make another correction. We had a very robust economic forum in Kisumu and in Homa Bay. We combined the counties of Siaya and Kisumu in Kisumu, and we had close to 1,000 people in attendance. We did the same in Homa Bay. We combined Homa Bay and Migori, and we had a very extensive conversation. You remember the day I was stoned in Kisumu? I had actually gone for that economic forum. That was the time I had gone for that economic forum.
Interestingly, he was trying to respond to a question that was asked by a youth during the youth chatter. In a span of 1 month, after campaigning with anchoring his campaign on allegedly the hustlers, immediately the register came out. The strategy changed, and the Kenya Kwanza team have signed charters with different professionals. There was a charter with the Kenyan lecturers. There was another charter with the teachers. There was also another charter with the doctors, the youth charter, and the women charters, and all the 47, all the charters from the 47 counties. And allegedly Kisumu and Siaya were merged, then Homa Bay and Migori was also merged. So there was one that was held in Migori, and there was another one that was held in Kisumu. But if you look at these charters, I've always maintained that it is just posturing in front of voters. However, the two that has attracted my attention is the one for the doctors and the one for the teachers. There was an education charter, I think it was last week, and there was also there was one for the medical practitioners charter. These charters were held interestingly, I was talking to a doctor today because I was in the hospital. I'm not feeling well, and I went to visit a doctor who is my friend, and I was just having an informal talk. What exactly are the charters about? And apparently the doctor was telling me that you cannot sign a charter with the doctors, because that is just simply what the doctors are lobbying for. The only thing that the doctors can lobby for is salary yao iongezwe. The doctors might not be so much push for the equipment. They cannot push for the policies. So much they're not going to push for that, but they will push for what really benefits them as individuals. William Ruto is simply dropping the hustlers after coming to realize that in the voters register, the hustlers are few. And secondly, they are inactive, rather they're a bit of passive voters. The active voters are the middle class. Someone was voted in 2007, 2013, 2017, 2022. That's where the active voting bloc is. So what do you think is happening, and what is the effect of this? Because you'll realize that the charters for the police was signed in the streets. It was a simple one. It was done by Rigathi Gachagua on top of the cast that, look here, we are going to change that register, and you're going to add your salary, we're going to take you to school, then you have degree, and okay. So someone was challenging me, waiting for a charter that is going to be done between Kenya Kwanza and the police. The police one was done in the street without even consulting them. In fact, the charter was done while they were being insulted. by, if you remember, Malala's statement in Bungoma. Now, there is two aspects that play out in these charters. The burden of the wage burden has been wrecking this economy to its knees. And if there is an area that government has really tried to neutralize, is the frictions, the protests, and the call for salary increment from different sectors. The teachers have been pushing, the doctors have been pushing, and if you look at it, you will realize that the counties are struggling with the doctors. But I think payment, if there was a function that was not supposed to be devolved, that was health. Health was devolved, and what the aspect of health that was devolved, I think counties have terribly failed to manage it. So if you are doing a charter for the practitioners at the national level, well, you cannot go and call your governor. Like in Kirinyaga, there's a problem between Waiguru and the medics there. You cannot call your governor in order to help solve that problem. And you will realize that this is something that is a problem to many governors. And I remember this statement from this doctor in that health symposium. Can you just have a listen, and you're going to have a grasp of her solution to the problem.
I want to put the task of improving our healthcare services in this country within governance. And the people that I want to put into task above all is our parliamentarians. When we look at our NHIF, it is only in Parliament, Your Excellency, where we can make the right policies, the right laws, which can be able to work for our healthcare systems in this country. But what we see in Parliament many a times, it doesn't seem like those parliamentarians really have seen these patients suffering. And that is why when a bill is brought in Parliament touching on health issues, it is not given the right timings, it delays. And the speaker who has spoken here about NHIF has literally said that there are several amendments that are still lying in Parliament. And nobody seems to take the first lead to take these issues as a first priority in Parliament.
She's simply saying that the solution is not whatever is written there on paper. The solution is in the National Assembly. And that's why I appreciate this narrative that if there was something that was supposed to be done to make sure that the life of Kenyans do not suffer, then everything starts from the National Assembly. These charters, these documents that are being signed, they're simply used as a checklist to illegitimize the government of the day post-August 9th general election if William Ruto do not form the government. And what he will be using this to say, I met with the doctors, I met with the doctors, and this is what they pointed out. So if government is not doing this, then government is not addressing the plight of the doctors. I met with the youths and this. And you'll see the way these events are being held, they are a bit of, it is just for glamour, it's just for camera, you know. I want you to look at the event that I followed, the youth one, and honestly, and I know I have three of my friends who attended, and if I was asking them, bro, sasa kuna nini? sorry, I'm not feeling well, so I'm just trying to pick up. So, bro, kuna nini? These guys will tell you that they don't even know any content of whatever was signed there. Wow, walikuwa tu, it was like kama parliament. Just get a snippet of how the youth one was done.
That this youth charter, today the 27th of June, be adopted as a policy to form part of the youth manifesto. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? We will not have the question on contrary opinion. So the ayes have it.
So that is what transpired. And I want to explain here why the hustlers have been dropped. The latest ratings by the opinion polls and polls that can also be commissioned by William Ruto's team shows that the class consciousness, because the hustler was simply trying to create a class a difference between people who are supposedly at the lower part of the pyramid and people who are up, who according to William Ruto, the people who are up are few and the people at the lower pyramid are the majority, which yes, to some extent is the truth. But that consciousness, that class consciousness, that let's vote for William Ruto because he is in the lower part of pyramid of us, that consciousness is not there. And that is why the ratings are low. It can't be a coincidence that all the opinion polls are showing that you are doing badly. Even though yourself, you can commission your own opinion poll. Kenya Kwanza can commission their own opinion poll and know what exactly they have and make sure that that is done. But it seems they have done their own and realized that, okay, that class is not really doing well. One of the reasons I can attribute this is I think the emergence of Wajakoya has created a wedge, and honestly, William Ruto's hustler narrative is posturing, and Kenyans are seeing. You know, it's only a few who are your strong fanatics that will not look at this, but the people at the town centers can draw the line and say, okay, we're just saying we want to vote for him, hustlers, but he's not a hustler. That might be the truth. But you can also see it that the bid to create a fanatical euphoria around William Ruto's presidency through the hustler, I think, collapsed. That bid collapsed, and the moment I realized that bid collapsed is the moment there was this national conversation around the boda when one boda guy was found in doing some really mistreated some clients somewhere in Nairobi. Then there was the crackdown. Then after that crackdown, boda people were really affected na vitu zao zilikuwa confiscated. So William Ruto went to a campaign rally and said that nyinyi watu wa boda walk to a police station and take. That statement I analyzed here was just a test, an acid test to his euphoria. And I was saying in this channel that if Raila would have done that, you would have witnessed a friction. In the run-up to 2017, Raila would have said that there is no crackdown. You guys walk to a police station and go for you. People would have dared to do that because there was that fanatical euphoria around his presidency in the presidential bid in 2017. That's what William Ruto was targeting by that class difference. But that bid collapsed because there is something that for you to get that fanatical euphoria, it's not a one-off. It's something that is built. And if you ask me, William Ruto has support, but still not to the extent that Raila Odinga was having. Now, if you look at the recent activities in government or the inflation in price of basic commodities, the people that are worst hit are the people at that lower part of the pyramid. And I've always maintained that you talk about the people at the bottom and it's bottom up and you don't focus at the middle, even though the middle are the largest consumers of what is at the bottom. The largest consumers of the mamamboga, the largest clients to the boda people, the largest clients to the butchery people are the people at the middle class. But we've never spoken about it. So the economic time has hit the mamamboga, the fuel has hit the boda guy, but that person cannot understand why deputy president is saying, is posturing with him as part of someone who is suffering, while he's seeing deputy president being mentioned all over in news as deputy president of the Republic of Kenya. That bit of inflation in government and high standard of living has made the person that is supposed to be William Ruto's voter fatigued, discouraged, and distressed. So there is that bit of emotional fatigue amongst the supporters because of whatever is happening. And then you can also see that after this election, for you to have meaningful engagement with the government of the day, if you don't make it, then you need that class. You need the teachers, the doctors, you need the civil servants, you need the people in the middle because these are the people that can have meaningful participation in government. For them, if there is a policy in CBC, it's the teachers that are key stakeholders. So you've realized that, and the truth of the matter here is, Mama Mboga, Boda guy, the people that William Ruto, the bracket that William Ruto has been addressing, that bracket do not have meaningful participation. And what I'm saying is, they simply pay taxes, they participate less on the policy that is made around those businesses, and they're simply consumers of the policies. Now, in terms of any policy direction that will be needed in government, if you want to legitimize that government, you need the middle class. And because Ruto has already known that it might be difficult to form this government, you need that middle class so that you can also form a euphoria to illegitimize the government of the day. That's my bold.